Hi, my name is John Wiles, and I'd like to talk to you about adding value to your self-storage business through revenue management. To give you some background, I was the founder of a company called Smart Storage, a 200,000 square foot business based over 5 stores around the city of Liverpool in the UK, and I was also the director and vice chairman of the Self Storage Association in the UK. I now live and work in Canada, and I advise self-storage businesses both in Canada and the USA on strategies to add value to their self-storage business. And today I'd like to talk to you briefly about revenue management and how this strategy can add value to your business. So first I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Are you increasing your existing customers' prices? And how often are you doing this? How often are you increasing these prices? How do you decide when to increase prices, and how do you implement a price rise without your customers leaving? Well, the first thing I would say is many self-storage businesses actually increase their prices annually, whereas in fact my strategy would be to increase them every month. And that's not every customer every month, that's every customer who's been in the facility for example 6 months. So if they came into your facility in January, then you would look to increase their price in June of that year. And if they came in February, then we would look to increase their price in July of that year. And what you do by doing this on a monthly basis rather than an annual basis is you smooth your cash flow and improve revenue throughout the year rather than just one step once a year. The other benefit of this is if you have a customer who is in your facility, for example, for 7 months or 8 months, then if you only implement a price rise or revenue management once a year, then they will fall through the net. So by actually doing this on a monthly basis, any customer who is in your facility for more than 6 months will be subject to a price rise and will not fall through the net. So it is actually a myth that your customers will leave in droves when you put a price increase through. This is not the case at all. In fact, the attrition rate is very, very low. We've done some analysis on this, and actually the customers that do leave when a price rise is implemented are generally the customers that were going to leave anyway. What you've actually done by sending out the letter is just remind them that their possessions are in storage, and it prompts them to actually leave. So generally the reason why customers leave at this particular moment in time is because they don't need the storage anymore, and you've actually prompted them to do something about it. And this number is generally very, very low. The majority of customers won't complain either. They will just take the price rise and it will go through, as long as you don't do the price rise, if you don't put a huge percentage through, but you do this in a gradual way. If a customer does complain, well, that's fine. Then this is an opportunity to renegotiate their rent and put some increase through. Maybe not the whole increase, but negotiate some increase. So as I've said, you can actually increase your rents by more than once a year. You can do this on a monthly basis, on a rolling basis. So just to reiterate that, that's not increasing a customer's rent every month, that's increasing it, say, every 6 months. But actually looking at the customers that have been in your facility for 6 months on a monthly basis, then serving the appropriate notice, and then putting the appropriate increase through at that time. And don't forget, chances are within your contract there will be a notice period where you need to inform your customer in writing prior to putting a price rise through. Also, it's very important to note that the rate that you charge your existing customers can be far higher than the rate you're charging your new customers. If a customer has been in for a number of years, then they will have been subject to a price increase, for example, every 6 months, and therefore their price will not necessarily correlate in any way to the actual price for that unit when a customer walks through the door on day one. And this is quite standard within self-storage. So with revenue management, really what needs to be implemented is a robust process, and this involves analysis, understanding how often to implement revenue management and by how much, and obviously what you are required to do under your customer agreement in terms of notice periods, serving that notice, and then putting the increase through. In most cases, in fact, I would say in pretty much all cases, you can't just implement an increase without informing the customer and giving them some period of notice, and this will be set out in that customer agreement, and this should always be adhered to. So to learn more about how to implement an effective revenue management process in your self-storage business and add significant value, why not give me a call? My number's 778 847 2281, or drop me an email, jwiles@simplystorageexpert.com.